So whether you're a Christian or not, one of the scriptures that you probably might have heard before is the one in Matthew 19 that talks about how it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And if you really think about that scripture and what it talks about, you would think that, well, then it's impossible for anyone who has money to go into heaven. Why? Because if you think about a tailor or a seamstress that is trying to get a thread into a needle, it's very difficult to do if you are not trained to even do it. Talk less of taking an entire camel and putting it in the eye of the needle. It seems as if Jesus was saying that it is impossible for anyone who has money or who is rich to enter into the kingdom of heaven. But that's not exactly what Jesus was talking about. So this right here is the eye of the needle. It was an invention that they placed on the large city walls. So when it's late at night and they don't want to keep the bigger gate open, they have a, sort of like a normal door that we normally have in our houses nowadays that is suitable for someone to go through. So even two people can go in at the same time. But if someone who has a camel, wants to go through, that camels are usually really tall and they usually have all these baggages and stuff on it. It is not so easy for a camel to go through that door. So in order for a camel to go through this door, the owner of the camel will have to take out all the luggages and put them down, and then the camel will have to enter through the door without any of those bags and all those things that was hanging on it. So Jesus wasn't really saying that it is impossible for someone who has money to go into heaven. He was just saying if you are someone who has wealth, you shouldn't be attached to that wealth. You should be willing to lose that wealth if there's a need for it and then come and follow God. Because oftentimes people who have money, have a tendency of being dependent on the wealth that they have or the affluence that they've created. So this was sort of like a test for the rich man that came to Jesus to see if he was willing to truly make Jesus his priority. As the scripture says that you cannot serve God and serve mammon. God has to be your ultimate treasure. So it is not impossible for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. It just so happens that if you truly want to follow Jesus, you shouldn't be enslaved to the riches that you have amassed on this earth.